All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, November 5th, 2020. This morning, it's post-election. So we're going to talk about intolerance and how intolerance is never the answer. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life. And then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right. What's happening, guys? Good morning to you. Happy Thursday. I had a lot of things to talk about this morning, but as I've been watching the current state of affairs in our country and all the things that are going on, and just watching people kind of go back and forth online and conversations that I've been a part of, and I think I have a different view than a lot of people on just how to handle these types of situations. It's a big deal, right? The things that are going on and the back and forth, and one side's going to say, well, this guy's a crybaby, he needs to just accept it. The other side's going to say, man, we want to expose some of the things that we think are going on. And everybody kind of runs to their side and defends their person, defends their position, and creates a level of intolerance, as I call it. And I think that intolerance is really a thing that has ravaged our country and society over the past few years. And so I wanted to talk about it this morning because I think that, the idea here is to give you guys some perspective to start your day with. And I believe that intolerance is a major skew to your perspective on life, right? As you go through your days, as you go through your weeks, as you're meeting new people, intolerance is a terrible thing. And I think that more people in the world suffer from it than what we think or what we realize, than maybe what you realize. You may have some degree of intolerance and just not recognize it. And so that is what we're here to talk about this morning is the word intolerance and how it's, kind of going through society. And we're going to talk a little bit about politics here. We're going to talk about the election and, I'll give you my perspective on it. And I'll give you, an idea on how I think all of this stuff is going to get resolved or how it's going to go. And I think that some of it may surprise you guys because I think there's more to this story than maybe what we realize. So I want to say good morning to some folks. Good morning, Tammy Clark here as always. Thank you for being here. Trisha, good morning. Chris Filippelli, my man. Rick, good morning to you. Lewis, Weldon, Carla, good morning. Adam, my brother, good to see you here, man. Kim, good morning to you from Portland, man. We got some West Coast people on here up early. I'm proud of you guys for doing this, man. That means a lot to me, and it should mean a lot to you that you guys are that committed to get up at 4:30 in the morning and watch this. Actually, just get up at 4:30 in the morning, period. But also to join us here. It means a lot to me, and I'm excited for you guys to be investing into yourselves with that kind of discipline. Weldon, good morning to you. Ryan Caddy, good morning, my brother. And Rick, I think I said good morning to you, but I agree with you. Intolerance is not a worthy thing. So let's talk about that. So, you see a lot of things going on in the world today, with regard to, politics and all the other stuff that's going on, and just kind of crazy with regard to, I got a message from my wife there. I wasn't sure if it was just an accidental dial or not. But with regard to kind of what's going on in the world, we see a lot of intolerance. We see, people hear something a certain way or the way that something's said to them, and they're intolerant of, how something is said to them. And that's a problem. When I look at politics and I see, people going to extreme sides of both parties, right? So you got the extreme Democratic side, the extreme Republican side. The lack of tolerance on the Democratic side is really what's driving people the other direction. And there's people being driven both directions, by the way. It's not like, only people are leaving one party and going to the other. But the idea of this intolerance, that we have to be a tolerant society to be able to learn and to be able to grow. And when you go to your corner and just go to your corner and take your ball and go home, right? You just aren't tolerant of somebody else's opinion. You have no way of getting educated. And so as we go through these experiences, like the election and like, that being close, and like people accusing or filing lawsuits as a result of what they believe is voter fraud. And, people are real quick to just jump and say, well, that's not right. And this person is ridiculous because of that. I would ask you guys and challenge you guys to just be tolerant. And listen, I'm not on one side or the other of this thing. I'm going to accept whoever it is that's the president as the president. But the reality of it is that you can't be intolerant to a differing opinion. And because if you are just constantly intolerant of a differing opinion, you may not learn anything, and you may be missing something that is very, very important to know. And I think that in this case, I think we're going to see a lot of things that aren't going to be very comfortable in this process of figuring out this election. I think that, there's a lot of potentially not good things that go on in our country. And I think that when you see an argument between two parties, that there's going to be a lot of things that come to the surface that maybe aren't comfortable truths for us. And so I want you guys to think about that, not just in the political side of things, but in your life in general. Are you tolerant, or are you quick to judge and quick to dismiss, something that you don't agree with? And I'll go back to what I said earlier about, we are creating this society of intolerance, right? Where, if somebody has a differing opinion, you see people online calling people names, or jumping to conclusions about things that they have no idea about, right? They couldn't possibly have a clue about what they're talking about. They don't even know these people, but yet online they will say ridiculous things about somebody that they don't even know as a result of their political affiliation, as a result of their position on some topic. And so that intolerance, I believe, is making us less and less intelligent, right? We are just trained to kind of go to our corner and find other people that agree with us, and create these echo chambers of people that just have the same opinion of us. And it's easy to do in this world today, right? It's very easy to go out and create that echo chamber, because you can join groups on Facebook and you can find hundreds and thousands of people that have the same views as you. And if you want to, you can you can have your entire life surrounded by people that do nothing but agree with you. And I can tell you this, guys, I've seen this in business. I've seen people that only hire people that agree with them, and it leads to terrible places. And I can tell you this, I've seen this, in life, when you only have friends that agree with you and you don't engage in any kind of debate about the other side, your level of intelligence and understanding just continues to decline. It is our differences that make us great. And not having a tolerance for those differences is what makes us not a good society to live in. And so I want you guys to really, really think about that. And I want you to look around you today, and I want you to seek out those people that might have a different opinion than you. I want you to seek out those people that don't believe what you believe. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. If you are brave enough, and you have the courage to engage in those conversations, and you are brave enough to speak from your heart, and you are a caring person that actually wants the best for everybody, but maybe you disagree with somebody on how to get there, I think you're going to leave that conversation with a lot more understanding and, a lot just more well-rounded view of everything, because everybody's opinion they believe is correct, or they wouldn't be doing it, right? It's not, somebody's not out to get you because they have a different opinion than you. They have a different opinion than you based on their experiences, how they were raised, the things that have happened to them in their life. They have a very different opinion of things as a result of all of that stuff. And so I want you guys to think about that. I want you guys to realize that intolerance is never the answer. Tolerance, leaning into that conflict, understanding each other better comes from being tolerant and encouraging the difference of opinions and not going to your corner, taking your ball and going home. And unfortunately, in some cases, that's the example that's being set by people in the world that are very prominent, right? Our government officials, this is what you see on the news. This is what's being shown to our children. And so we, as adults, as responsible people in this world, we have to do better. We have to set the example. We have to do the things that other people don't do. We have to be the example. I had somebody ask me recently, out of the two presidential candidates, which one would I want my kids to be like? And I said, neither. I want them to be like me. And that's the truth. I think that we all should be striving to be an example of how to deal with things and how to be tolerant, and how to be caring, and how to listen, and how to lean into somebody with a differing opinion and still love them regardless of if they have a completely different opinion than you. Think about that as you go into this Thursday, as you watch all of this stuff unfold with the presidential election. Be patient, be tolerant, and listen. And if you listen and you have an open mind and an open heart, you just might learn something. You just might learn something, because this world that we live in is an interesting place. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some bad things that go on in our world, and a lot of them are done right underneath of our noses, and we don't even see, because we have a level of intolerance that doesn't allow us to see. Think about it. And as you go into this day, as you go into, the next week, 2 weeks, the holiday season, think about what tolerance will do for you if you lean into that conflict and you have patience and you actually seek to understand. What it will do for you is magical. It's magical. You become a very well-rounded person. You understand both opposing sides. Doesn't mean you change your mind. Doesn't mean that how you feel changes about your own beliefs or your own values, but it does help you understand somebody else. And understanding others is a very important piece of this life. I hope you guys take that with you as you walk through this Thursday, as you go into this weekend. Man, it's an interesting time in the world, and I think we should embrace it. I think if we lean into it, man, we can learn a lot during these turbulent times. And don't forget to be grateful for what you have. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, you feel anxious, just take a minute, think about all the things that you have in your life that you're grateful for. And that feeling of anxiety will go away quickly. I hope this message was helpful, guys. I look forward to talking with you again tomorrow morning. If you found this message to be helpful, please do me a favor and share this out. These episodes are also available on podcasts. So you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. It's everywhere. Also available on my YouTube channel. So if you do watch on another channel, whether it be podcasts or whatever, do me a favor and drop a comment, leave me a note, and share those episodes with other people. My goal here is to, hopefully just help people gain a little bit better perspective in life. And I believe that, perspective is what builds the level of success in your life that you're capable of achieving. Without perspective, we are all lost at sea. And so with it, we are powerful beyond what you believe. And so I hope that this was helpful. If it was, please share it with somebody else and share it to your page, share the podcast, share all those things. I would appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow morning, same place, same time right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.